Mojo Break Studios. It's Dan and Doug. Check it out. Come on! So, get hyped. Be hyped. This is The Hype.
What is going down, everybody? Another episode of MojoBreak.com's The Hype, episode 51 coming at you. We're going to talk a little national, at least some of the news that's came out about the national. We're about 2 weeks away, so start your timers. The biggest time of year in our hobby, where everybody gets together, and we'll talk about some of the events. We'll talk about what we're doing there as far as the people that are in attendance and what we can offer to you guys that aren't going. So that's the beauty of it. A lot of guys can't travel to Cleveland, especially West Coast guys. We've got some ways for you guys to participate at the National through YouTube and all of our feeds and stuff like that. So we're also going to talk about Leveon Bell. I've got some interesting insights on Leveon Bell's card, so ponder that. And we're also going to talk about, we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring death in the hobby and selling and stuff like that, because there was a tweet that came out that caught us by surprise, and I got to give credit to All About the Cards, and I'll mention it again when we get into the segment about some of the things I saw on Twitter. But C-Rad, what's going down, dude?
What's up, dude?
What's going on?
I didn't even say it.
I didn't even say it. I was like,
it's
it's coming. So I just jumped the gun there. Is that a salt shaker?
It is. There's going to be some saltiness going on.
Oh, okay.
That's salty warning.
I'm like, what does a salt shaker and is that a Ken Norton Jr.?
Ken Norton Jr., one of the best 51 ever. So,
I'm like, what does that have to do? Where's the connection there?
There's no connection.
There is no connection.
Other than there's a saltiness warning.
There never is.
And I actually am not a Vikings fan, but we had a giveaway where the 10th prize was you get to pick a jersey of any sport, of any player that you want one of us to wear. I was the lucky one that got to wear the Randy Moss jersey until I realized that the Vikings are playing the Niners week 1, and that sucks. So usually we don't have a little rivalry with the Vikings, and probably still won't, but they're kind of the favorite. Kirk Cousins looks pretty good, and then I got to, I'm kind of rooting for the other side. You know what I'm saying?
You got let off easy, man.
I know. I should have had to wear a Dodger jersey.
Dodger jersey would have been the go-to, or a Ram jersey would have been pretty wild to see. I would have been into that.
Let's go with that. Let's go. So who would you have picked for me if you were BP Sox was our winner? Who would you have picked?
Oh, I would have picked a Rams jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I've had to wear Niner jerseys before. I've lost bets. You lost a bet. You had to wear a Torrey Holt jersey.
I did. It was way too small. It was a belly shirt.
It was the biggest one I had. I could have gone Jim Everett, but I wear that one. I didn't want you messing it up.
See, you know what I would have had you wear? Jenny Finch jersey.
Jenny Finch?
Yeah. Softball, pink USA Jenny Finch jersey.
Okay, all right.
C-Rad, who would you pick for somebody to wear, either myself or Dan?
This classic, dude. Jerry Rice Raider jersey. That's
yeah. That would have been hard. I'd have had to have.
I'd
have had to have some vodka to wear that one.
Actually, I take it back. Maybe not a Rams jersey, a Montana Chiefs jersey.
Ooh,
would have been pretty amazing.
Could I do Bono instead?
No.
Yes, and I recognize all those number 51s that you guys mentioned in the chat. Randy Johnson, Bernie Williams, Dick Butkus should have been up there. But I got a soft spot in my heart for Ken Norton Jr., so 94 Niners. And
good Cowboy.
I had his jersey when I was a youngster. So
a good Cowboy.
No, he's a good Niner.
Good Cowboy.
We got a lot of Super Bowl rings. Jerry Rice Seahawks would be an interesting one as well. So we do have some breaks going down today. Coming up after the show, we've got some ultimate hockey. We haven't done a hockey break in a while, so join us to butcher names. Some of you guys at home that don't have to drive later, you can play the Mojo Break drinking challenge, and every time we butcher a hockey name, you may want to do beer instead of shots, because if you have a shot, it might be 6 in the first box. You might miss the rest of the break, but it's a fun little product. I thought it was interesting that they're doing a McDavid redemption that you can have inscribed to say anything.
Like to Paul?
that's pretty awesome.
I don't think I would go with two Paul. It might be my second or third one. I'd probably have him put like McDreamy or I love Josh Hader. No, Just kidding.
Wow.
It's
It's a little early in the show for Josh Hader.
I know. I was gonna put him on the topics list. I didn't know how to spin it in a good light.
And that's how you did it. You went from McDavid to Josh Hader.
Yeah, it was a perfect
segue.
segue.
That was the best segue you had. Was talking about, hey, what am I gonna have put on a inscribed McDavid card? Josh Hader.
Yeah. Hey, I could have been like Bliss water. Josh Hader drinks it. I mean, hey, it was off the dome.
It could have been one of Josh Hader's tweets. You could have him inscribe that on the card.
Oh, yeah. But see, I don't know how I'd throw it on the show. We may have some probably don't have a whole lot of kids watching, but, there may be one, and then we may turn him into Josh Hader after that. He may be like, yeah, I'm going to put this on my Twitter. But what would you guys, what would be a good inscription? What would make the card more valuable? If you got an inscription, I mean, the
greatest one.
I would just get something that's very personalized.
Personalized to you?
Yeah.
See, I would probably sell it to somebody. I would have to vet the people that want to buy it from me, because I'd be like, I want to give it to an Oiler fan, that's going to keep it, because that's a rare opportunity to get a card, especially an Ultimate Inscriptions card, and to be personalized. So, but yeah, if you get it with your name on it, then that probably devalues it a lot, right? So you probably want to put the number of goals or when he was drafted or something, right? So you want to come up with a
2020 Stanley Cup champion.
Oh, okay. Bold prediction.
Yeah.
Bold prediction. Hockey players are more humble, I think, than that. But
Connor
no, but that's what I want on it.
Connor Grader.
Or what if you put? They probably turn some down. What if you put I love the Sharks? Big Shep says Connor greater than Wayne. Greater sign. Put it on there. I don't know if he'd sign that either. He may. The best Oiler of all time.
Best player on my team.
Pretty much. So let's get into the national talk. It's coming up August 1st through the 5th at the IX Center in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio.
Have you been there?
I have not, so that's why I'm calling it beautiful.
Okay.
Maybe after the show.
It's nice. Downtown's nice. We're about 25 minutes away from downtown, I think.
Okay.
So we're kind of not in the cuts, but not smack dab in the city by any means. But it's a nice little area.
Nice. We got a lot of Baker Mayfield fans probably going to be running around in there, and Joe Thomas, and a lot of LeBron jerseys getting burned. But it's 400,000 square feet of show floor, and I tell you, I mean, if you haven't been, it's something that you need to do. Even if you don't go this year, you gotta go. If you collect cards, you just have to go. Even if you go for a couple days, just to walk this floor and see the memorabilia, the stuff that's there. I mean, the jerseys, the vintage cards, the vintage wax. You can find 86, 87 Fleer boxes in there if you have, $150,000 to spend and you want to try to get some raw Jordans. You can do that too. I mean, I always say, and I used to hear back in the day, it was Doug Cataldo would say, if you can't find a card, there's every single card you'd ever want, you could find it here. And I'm thinking about doing a contest for that. Maybe somebody can try to name an obscure card, and then another listener or fan or whatever can try to find that card for a prize. I think that'd be pretty fun, just to prove the theory. Name Rusty Cunt 1979.
Whoa.
1979 tops. Find that
Family
one.
show.
No, that's the guy's name. I'm sorry, I didn't. I don't know why they named him Rusty when he had a name like that. But I'm just saying, for example, or an Alan Trammell, 19, something like that, and then we got somebody has to go find it.
So like a scavenger hunt.
Like a scavenger hunt.
A scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Not like one.
But somebody can't be like, oh, the Ty Cobb, and which might be there. I mean, the Honus Wagner, you can't name that, of course. Maybe in the last 50
the
years. The
2013 rookie premier tops Doug Caskey Taco Bell.
Yeah.
That actually, it may be there.
It may
be there.
I seen Sparty Hawk, by the way. Thanks for tweeting us out, Sparty, who won the auction for the Taco Bell Doug inscribed card that all the proceeds went to the 21 Strong Foundation. It looked like he took a picture with himself in a car like the Vegas Dave car. I thought it was pretty awesome.
It was rad.
Very creative, dude. Thanks for the shout out on the video, by the way. It was a fun show to watch, and I've been keeping up with your tweets, even if I don't reply back and everything, because we get busy. But we really appreciate the shout out and everything. We'll have to give you some break spots or something in the future as well. But thanks for that, and maybe Dan's card will hit eBay next. So
I'm not gonna start it at 99 cents. So
you're gonna start at 1,000,
40,000.
All proceeds.
Not even best offer either. Just straight starting bid, 40 grand.
You know what you should do? Since I did,
I gotta outdo Vegas Dave.
well, no,
Mexico Dave.
here's what you do. This would be a great marketing scheme. I just came up with this. So I did the 101 Taco Bell. You should start it at $40,000, and whatever it ends at, you buy that much Taco Bell.
That's
And
a lot of Taco Bell.
And then you could either jump in it. You could
Jump in it.
You could jump in get whatever $40,000 worth of tacos. And then you're like, I'm saving
Pretty
diabetes.
sure I won't be able to go through the drive-through on that transaction. I may have to call ahead of time.
Might have to call corporate.
I have to be like, hey, I got an order I'm gonna place. I need $40,000 worth of tacos. Can you guys do that?
Yeah, but then in this day and age, people would be like, he just took $40,000 and put it in Taco Bell. He could have donated it. Blah blah.
No, I would hand it out. Like,
Oh, okay.
You
All right.
got to feed the homeless or whatever, or I don't know.
So you'd be like Drake. You'd be like God's plan. We'd be like Taco Plan.
It would be really hard to get rid of that many tacos. You may see me just running down the street trying to like, here, grab a taco. Here, take 3, take 4.
Steal a base, grab a taco. But yep. So yeah, shout out on that. But back to the national talk. I know we get a little bit off topic. We do have this. If you're listening to the podcast, I'll describe this as well as possible. We have a limited edition Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inspired shirt that's going to be available for those that are at the national. And you can see it on the screen. It's kind of like an AC/DC looking font with the gold and then a black shirt. And the shirts are the same shirts that we use every year. They're super soft. I have a billion of them. I wear them to the gym all the time. They're very multi-purpose.
That's where all our money goes.
Yeah, and shirts for my gym days.
That's why we never have any shirts left.
So I think we're gonna have about 200. We had about 150 last year, and they were gone in like day 2. So we'll have some ways on how you can get that, and then also if you wear it around, we'll give you something. Then like if you pick it up on Thursday or something, and you wear it on Friday, then we'll have something for you to show our appreciation that you're wearing our brand. So definitely check
another
that out.
shirt.
What's that?
We're gonna give you another shirt
to
wear on the next day.
So that's what we're doing. That we also have we're gonna be doing breaks as well, like we always do every year at the national, and it's a good time of year because we're gonna be doing silver pack breaks. So we've already got some stuff posted. We're doing Vertex $39.99. You get 2 sealed Panini silver packs, which those are like $5 or $10 a piece. Plus you get a shot in the case. So all these products are going to be posted. There's only a few posted now. There's going to be a lot more in the coming weeks. And then we're also doing a $20,000 giveaway. So basically the grand prize is a all expense paid trip to Chicago next year's national, an entry into the VIP party, hotel paid for those 2 days, and you get to keep the gold and silver packs, and there's free drinks there. You get to rub elbows with like Deion Sanders, Alonzo Ball, whoever they decide to bring. So it's a really cool prize, and basically you enter in any of those breaks that we're doing in that time period, July 25th to August 7th. Each break is going to have a winner announced every break, and then you're guaranteed a prize. So there's going to be like 150 prizes, and there's cases and boxes, and we're also going to be doing mystery autographed full-size items that haven't been named. So follow our social media on that. Well, we're going to walk around the national and find some really cool, unique items, and those are going to go into the prize pool as well. So it'll be a blast. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, but you're going to get a lot of bonuses, a lot of incentives to get into breaks of hot products. So, and then the TriStar Signature Series is always good every year. It's full-size items, no skunk. So that's posted. It's an 8-spot break. So should be cool. Dan, let's start with you.
Doug.
Yes, I'm just collecting thoughts. Sorry. Mine's going a mile a minute. I'm just tired. I'm tired. Like all that information you just put out, like I'm exhausted. I need to digest it. You got to digest it.
I need a nap.
You need a Taco Bell taco. What would you recommend for if somebody was going to the National for the first time? How would you tell them to spend their time? What kind of strategies would you employ?
It depends on what type of collector you are. If you're really into getting cards graded, I would start lining up at the Beckett booth now. Mm-hmm. I would go there now, about a week in advance.
Oh, like Black Friday, like
Black Friday,
okay.
like get ready because I expect because they're going to be doing grading there. I do expect that at the end of Thursday they may already have cut it off.
Yeah.
So if you're into that, do that early. Just look around. Try to. It's a little overwhelming. So I would say take different sections of the show floor and just see different sections per day, depending on how long you're there. If you just kind of walk around the show floor and just try to get everything done in one day, it's going to be a blur. You're going to leave there and go like, what did I see?
Right.
So
maybe focus your whatever you're into for the first
I would
part.
I would try to just divide up the sales floor in however many days you're there.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, because they also Topps is going to be doing some silver pack promotions, which those are hot. What those require, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but the cards are worth it. I'm sure they're doing it this year. They haven't announced it, but they're going to do something similar. Is you take an unopened box to Topps' booth, and depending on what you buy, like say you buy Bowman, you get 3 of those silver Bowman packs. They're like kind of different parallels of Bowman, and they'll have this year. They'll probably have Ohtani, so it'll be hot.
I think it's already been confirmed.
Yeah, they'll have Ohtani in there, but you have to open up everything in front of them because they don't want people to basically, resellers to keep coming back up and getting packs. So you have to open everything in front of you. So it's kind of a strategy. If you like, do I pay $250 for Bowman? Do I go? Some people last year were buying UFC because it was like 2 packs. It was only $70. So they were able to resell the packs and basically almost get like a free museum UFC or whatever it was, knockout at the time. So that's a fun thing. And then Panini's doing silver packs at all the retailers if you want to buy a box if you're there. So they'll have different pack amounts. I'm sure it'll be Victory Lane Racing and Prism World Cup. So you buy those boxes and there's a certain amount of the silver packs. And this year the location may not be the greatest because of, Chicago's such a great national, right? It's just, I don't know. It just always I've been there 3 times. Cleveland just doesn't seem as desirable to certain people on the West Coast. But what I see this year is the amount of rookie potential between all the players that are going to be in these promo packs. Because you have Ohtani, you have these NFL rookies with Mayfield, Darnold. They're probably going to insert some of the upcoming NBA guys like Ayton and stuff like that. And then they also have Lonzo Ball, Tatum. So there's a lot of firepower, and Mbappe, which I think is in the next slide. They announced that, or in a few more slides, that Mbappe will have a silver or a pink prism numbered to 15. Wow. I mean, right out of the gate, that's probably $1,500 card. And it's a World Cup France card. They won the World Cup. And I don't know if they're going to be in the silver packs, but they said it'll be somewhere at the National. These will be inserted in something they do. So this is going to be huge.
I bet you they're going to be in the black box.
There you go. I was just going to say that. I bet they're going to be in the bottom of the black box.
Well, I'll go to Instagram and I'll read you guys what they said because it didn't. I was thinking the same thing too, that they were at the bottom. But what they said is coming to Panini America's NSCC show. Okay, well, that doesn't really... Pink Prism Chase. I must have read it completely the wrong way. So it could be, they may have a pink Prism pack in the black boxes. Maybe that's what they'll do, because that's where the Simmons were last year. But they did all basketball. So do you think they're going to do all soccer, or is it going to be mixed? Who knows? Either way, getting an Mbappe pays for your trip, basically. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, the Topps Rapper Redemption is going to be chaotic. It always is.
Yep.
There's usually a line forming right away. Sometimes I think there had been a year or two where they actually ran out of their promo packs. So line up early. If that is something that you really want to do, get there early. It may actually take maybe half your day just waiting in line. And then you got to open up the case. Then that'll take a while as well. But if that's something you want to do it early.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, you have to get that. I mean, people line up as soon as they can. We did it one year, and we were fortunately there 4th in line, and it still took a little while. So, I mean, because guys are coming up to that booth with cases of Bowman, and they're opening. I mean, we didn't even look at the cards because we felt so bad for all the people behind us. We just opened them up, put it in a shoebox, checked them all out later. So, because we didn't, what I'm saying? Like, these guys are doing a Bowman jumbo case. Come on, this guy's got one box of Topps behind us, and, he's like, come on, man, hey, it's like being in line at the drive-thru, and the guy orders $40,000 of Taco Bell, and then you only want one taco. You're going to be there for a while, you know what I mean? So,
Joshua B's got a pretty good question in the chat. Question for the experienced guy just hanging around here. Is it best for value to get hot new autos graded before you sell, or should you sell it raw? Try to capitalize on the hotness of the release.
That is a good question. I mean, it depends on the player and it depends on the moment. Like with football right now, you might be able to just grade them and still sell it before the season and get a little bump on the grading. But it depends on how unique the card is. If it's a 101 or one of 10, I would probably sell it raw because there's probably going to be only one buyer that's willing to pay that much, and then the second one won't go for as much, regardless of the grade. But if it's like a true RPA or a Contenders, sometimes they'll sell a lot more graded, or like Prism Silver. So it definitely is dependent on the set, the sport, the player, and I know that's very vague, but you kind of take it more on a per situation basis if you're going to sell or grade or whatnot. So, but that's a great question. That's actually a segment worthy question. Kudos to that one.
And then the Panini Black Box, it's a promo box that they've been doing. They used to do it at the Summit, which is an industry show, not open to the public. It's only people who either have shops or people who have blogs, breakers, manufacturers, distributors, stuff like that. That's where I first encountered the Panini Black Box, and at that point it was a slabbed card. It was always a 101. They had autos and relics and whatnot. They had kind of transitioned those black boxes into the Panini VIP party, which is at the National. You could, I think, Blowout may be selling packages. Packages are somewhere.
Go over that, in a minute.
Yeah, so there's packages available. There's the Super VIP package where you get 2 black boxes. The black boxes are they're not as good as they used to be, in my opinion.
Right.
They used to be,
unless they have these guys in there. I mean,
unless they have these guys. But they used to sell for, if you sold one sealed, they were like $400 to $500.
Yeah.
Now I think they're about maybe $250.
So here's the skinny on the VIP pass. So if you want to buy the product, so you can buy the product packages for the regular VIP ticket for about 10.5, right? And you get that amount in cases, but it's the cases they want you to buy. So maybe you don't like Victory Racing or you don't like Prism World Cup. So, but there is some people that like break and, or you can flip the cases, and then you're basically getting the VIP party ticket for free at that point. So what Blowout's doing, which has been a pretty good deal and people have done well with it, is they're taking the product that you would normally buy and they're just selling you the pass. So this year, actually, they raised it. It's $4,000. So it's $4,000 and you get 400 silver wrappers, which is approximately $5 a piece, $4 to $5, depending on when you sell them. So that's like $2,000 back in your pocket right there. You get about 50 maybe gold packs or 100 gold packs, and people value those anywhere from $10 to $20. You can do the math on that. You get a black box, which they actually valued. They were right on the money, Dan. They must have been listening to you. $150 to $200 box. 1 envelope folio featuring autographed photos of the athletes in attendance. Now, last year we had Lonzo Ball, which was great. We had Dion. We had Glenn Rice, Tommy Hearns, Mickey Mantle's sons. Latrell Sprewell, did I already say that?
Nope.
And
Glenn Rice?
I said Glenn Rice. And there was some other guys I can't remember. And then in the past, we've had Pedro Martinez, Yasiel Puig, Johnny Manziel was at the last Cleveland one. Hopefully he doesn't show up to this one. They're like, hey, Johnny Manziel's back.
Joe Namath. I mean, there's been a pretty epic list. And this year, I think it's going to be even better. I don't know. I have no idea who's going to be there. I have tried to speculate. I have no idea, but I think it's going to be the best one so far, at least with autograph signers, because it's the first time that they're saying that your package that you get, you're not going to get all the people who are there signed 8x10s.
Yeah, so that makes us think that.
So it means that they're either going to have some high-profile players that it cost a lot of money to have them sign, or they're going to have just a huge quantity of players where they just don't want to give everybody 25 8x10s.
Right. So if it's interesting if you've been following the news out of Panini Camp, and maybe you don't, or you're listening to our podcast, we appreciate you. So we'll keep you clued in on the news. Panini has Charles Barkley now, who was a signer that hasn't signed for anybody. There's even rumors that Brian Gray from Leaf offered him $1 million to sign. He turned it down. There was no money in the world to get Charles Barkley to sign. Well, Panini released a silhouette coming soon, and it was a silhouette of Charles Barkley dunking. They also just they just got Brady back in. Brady hasn't been in product since 2016. So the fact that they're saying we've been in the last 4 VIP parties and you get autographs of all the guys. It's clockwork. And so that makes me think that there's going to be a lot of guys, and B, there's going to be one guy that probably costs $200 to $400 an auto, and instead of having him sign 150, they're probably going to have him sign 25. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're speculating. Pure speculation.
I think there's going to be either 2 or 3 of those guys, and every folder that you get with the 8x10s, you're going to get one of those guys.
Yeah.
You're not going to get all 3. You're not going to get 2. You're going to get one of them. So I think there's going to be 3 of them. I think you can put Ohtani in that category of a top player.
Yep.
I think he's going to be there. Again, I'm speculating.
The Angels are playing the Indians that day. I'm taking your thunder. I know. I get too excited. I just jump in.
What am I here for?
I know. Seriously. I know. I get too excited, man.
Indians they're not playing the Angels. It's just wrong. It's just not. No, Ohtani's not going to be there.
I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up now.
All right. Well, I was just trying to break it down, and it got broken down.
So is Ohtani going to be there?
I don't. Well, I mean, the Indians are playing the Angels.
Maybe Ian Kinsler will be there instead.
Maybe Albert Pujols, maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, I think it's going to be. And if you haven't gone, it's probably one of the best events in the industry.
It is the best. I mean, it's one of the best events, but yeah, I mean, you got to weigh out the options if it's going to be worth it for you on the price point to go there. I mean, obviously we get to break the product for you guys, and we'll be giving away a bunch of goodies from all the event, from the VIP party, and 8x10s will be included in the big giveaway and stuff like that.
And you also got to value the party experience. That's another thing. But the $4,000, I don't know if a lot of people value the actual party experience. Like, what do you value the party experience, Doug? Now you can have the floor. What do you value it? Like, if you were hanging out and you had an opportunity to go to this party, but it cost to get into the club, how much would you pay?
I'm a bad person to ask. I mean, it depends on if I knew who was there. I mean,
no, you don't. It's exact. You've been to the party 4 times, right?
Yeah.
So you know exactly what it is. So there's actually nobody else that would have a better answer than you.
You.
Well,
you've actually been to more of them.
I've been to 5, but yeah. I'm asking the question. I'm not answering it. How much would you pay?
It's an open bar for like 3 hours. So right there, I could probably do about $300.
$300. Damn.
$300 in alcohol.
$300 in Kettle and Club sodas.
Exactly. I mean, I have 2 kids. I don't get out too often. I got to make it up.
All right. So if you go, you'll find Doug hammered drunk somewhere in the corner.
I'd say I would say $700 for the experience without the packs.
I mean, last year, I think for whatever reason, Doug and I were hanging around, and we didn't get called for like the buffet line. So we went up there, and there was literally no food left.
Yeah, it was.
Remember, we were just like, I think we were getting like some desserts. We had some like some cookies. We were actually eating cookies
for dinner.
Cookies for dinner.
Yeah. Well, I think I had a meal in the form of a beverage. I think is really what my dinner was. You know what I'm saying? But yes, this is the Doug show. Big Shep says, didn't you listen to the July 4th show? He is an egomaniac. No, I'm an only child. That'll probably explain it because I didn't have anybody to talk to, so I just rambled on to myself with my Nintendo in my bedroom, and I don't know how to share with others, I think, properly. Not intentionally, just not properly. But anyways, so yeah, Panini VIP party. We'll have more info. Probably next week we'll have an even better preview show for the National. But I'm just saying, and if you go on, I mean, you can go on the actual price to get in the show itself, not the VIP party. It's pretty inexpensive just to go in there. I think it's like $19 a day to go in there. And, if you want to get autographs and stuff, you pay a little bit more. But just to walk around the floor. And I have an idea that I talked about, I think, last year. If you're really good at sales, if you're a salesman, you could probably do well of funding your trip from going around and finding cards and then reselling them because you have the whole marketplace there for the most part. So if you wanted to walk around and say, I'll buy this, Buster Posey or whatever for $100. You may find a guy over there that wants to buy it for 150.
His name is Doug.
That you can connect with. Yeah, I'd be the idiot that never would talk you down. I suck at negotiations for cards. I'd probably buy it for you. Then you put another $50 in your pocket. And there's a talent to that without kind of trying to be, a rug salesman out there. But, you could probably do pretty well if you were, have no problem walking up to talking to people and making deals and stuff. So if that's you, then, hey, you could probably fund your whole trip if you did it well enough, or you could even buy the cards and throw them on eBay or something if you wanted to try to capitalize on the free marketplace. So, all right, wanted to get into this topic. Actually, I was going through some tweets today, and so I have more to add on to this, but this was brought to you by Big Shep. So I'm sorry about stealing your thunder. They're going to probably go over it on about the cards tomorrow, and we'll put the we'll actually retweet that out when they go live or the archive so that you can hear their point of view on it. So I came in one day, stole your thunder, but you got me hip to this in the chat because we've talked about it in the past. So if you want to go back to that tweet. So basically, this is what you're seeing on the screen, and I'll read it to you guys, is what we talk about all the time with death and cards, on how strongly we feel. And we've talked about it for 5 or 6 or 7 shows in the past, and we've been doing podcasts since 2011. So this has always been near and dear to our heart, and as far as morals, ethics, and things like that. So a couple days ago, the great Ray Emery had passed away, and he passed away too young. He was younger than me.
34.
35, it said.
35.
September 28th is when his birthday was, I believe, when I was looking it up. I thought he was older. I don't follow hockey as much as, I follow the other sports. But a day later, Beckett Media tweeted this out, and I'll read it to you guys. It's a Beckett by the numbers. So if you follow Beckett on Twitter, you know that they do these a lot with the by the numbers. They say how many numbers of the cards that these guys have, and Chris Bryant has this many cards in our database, blah blah blah, and they have a sponsor attached to it. Well, the sponsor is Burbank Sports Cards. So it says, today we honor the memory of Ray Emery. Ray was a 2-time Stanley Cup champion and a hell of a teammate. Check out his numbers in our database, then hit the @Burbank Cards BMP store to add some to your collection. So my biggest problem there is it's been fine to honor the guy and say how many cards he has, but when you turn it into a profit situation, that's what pisses me off. That's what gets me riled up. That's what gets me salty, and that's why I got the salt at the beginning of the show. You can't do that. I don't know how many people were in the room discussing on putting this up. I know there was a gentleman saying that he just does the graphics portion, but somebody should have said, hey, man, Burbank Sports Cards has 1 million cards in their database. Can we find one other guy? This guy died one day earlier. Like, why do we need to promote money? And I know it's not raising prices or anything like that, but let the guy rest in peace. And that's bottom line.
There's no way of looking at it other than somebody trying to capitalize. How many people are going to be going and picking up singles of Ray Emery on a just a regular day? It's just right after this happens. Is it a coincidence that this is the guy they randomly were like, Ray Emery's the guy today that we're going to go ahead and showcase his cards? Would that have happened? Would that marketing plan would that be the same thing if he didn't pass away?
No.
Absolutely not. So the marketing campaign was based to profit on somebody passing away. We talk about it all the time. That is just as bad as putting RIP, 3 hours after somebody is, said that they had passed away. It's the same thing. It's just as bad.
It might be worse because it could be a paid ad. I don't know. I mean, obviously, Burbank may have not made the decision, so they may be the innocent victim here. I know Burbank has a connection with Beckett, and they probably just say, hey, use any cards in our database to make these graphics. Which, hey, I got kudos to the graphics. It's cool finding out about how many cards a guy has. That's awesome. But the fact that when somebody dies,
it turns into it's a sales pitch.
Right. I mean, there should be a period of time. Maybe if you did it a year later and didn't talk about a death in it, like, hey, legendary Ray Emery, we have this many cards. We don't need to mention that he's dead. I mean,
what about if it was a marketing campaign like it is, but it didn't say anything about him passing away? What if it just said, hey, by the numbers, Ray Emery has X amount of cards, and if you want to buy them, this is where you buy them. But there's no talk about how he passed away. Would that be okay?
You mean if there's still a sales thing on it?
It's still a sales thing, but it had no blurb about how he just passed away.
No, not after.
Not after. Okay.
It would have been okay if there was no. And this is my opinion. This is my opinion only.
So what gets you is the fact that it's a sales pitch.
Correct.
They're trying to monetize on the passing of Ray Emery.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And we've talked about that numerous times. We feel very strongly about it. I mean,
well, like I said, and I use the same example I used in prior podcasts. If you were at somebody's funeral and you were there to remember him, that person, that female, whatever, a person, and then outside of the funeral there was a guy handing out a flyer to buy some of the guy's old stuff that he bought at an estate sale. Oh yeah, you love Joe, you loved Joe. Well, I got all of his vinyl, and I'm selling them for $200. It would be tasteless, and everybody would say, "Get off of the funeral, get out of here." And well, that's what's happening in a digital place. This is a digital place. We have to put that in perspective.
That's a hell of a perspective. You're like sitting out there passing out flyers of an estate sale at somebody's funeral.
Correct. Yeah,
you're like, dude, that's pretty good.
Like the brother of the guy, he was in charge of his estate, and he's like, man, this guy had 100 people coming to his funeral.
He's all, I better cash in right now.
Right, because hey, his golf shirts. I bet you all of his golfing buddies would want a golf shirt. Well, I'm $50 a pop on these vintage golf shirts, and and I know estate sales, but it's like you wouldn't do it at that place. You would remember the person, and that's what I think we're doing here, and that's how I compare it, and that's my opinion on it. Is that the fact that hey, let the guy rest in peace, and his cards will sell to the people that want him anyway. Those people that want him, Flyers fans, will be buying him anyway. Like regardless, because they're going to want to remember him. They're the ones that went to the games and stuff. And yes, I'll admit, Jeff, I didn't know who Ray Emery was either. I mean, I knew who he was, but I didn't know much about him, because I'm not a huge hockey guy. I have baseball, basketball, football is my main sports, and then hockey's fourth, so it doesn't leave I don't have enough room in this big noggin to have a lot of hockey knowledge. So I try, but this just goes along with the fact that let a guy rest in peace. No rip cards, don't promote. And there was, I think Steiner did something similar to this with somebody as well, and it's just. I don't know. We got to have some kind of moral.
Was Steiner who was the one who did the Roy Halladay? Who was that?
That was it wasn't Steiner. It was somebody.
It was somebody else.
They had a bunch of jerseys of them.
Yeah, and it was the day after he had passed away. They're just putting jerseys up there.
Yep.
And trying to monetize on the passing. And it's tough, and we see it all the time. I mean, every time we see it, we're going to call somebody out.
Yeah.
And it's not going to stop, but it gives us good content, so we're gonna roll with it.
It does. In its opinion, you could, you can agree, you can disagree, whatever. That's fine. That's why we have a show, is to have opinions, and that's just one thing I believe in, is that death and life, and death is, legacies are sacred, and to try to put a third party to try to capitalize off of a death, it just doesn't seem right. And they may have not been there. That may have not been in their intention. Maybe it was just to get a story out there. I don't know if Beckett was like, we need to make money off this. Probably wasn't, but just there should have been somebody in that room that said, I don't know about that.
There's probably some type of affiliate marketing that's attached to that tweet.
There probably was.
There probably is.
And I know Burbank Sports Cards is one of the biggest. And see, I'm giving free press out of it. I guess it worked. Burbank Sports Cards is one of the biggest single card dealers in the world. They have the biggest database of just common cards, probably like the National. You can almost find everything there. And they have a really nice system. So they kind of partnered up with Beckett, and their system goes into Beckett. You can find the cards. So, they pay a lot of money probably to have all their cards housed there. And, Beckett's trying to please a big account in a sense. But they could have put something else up. Could have been like Bregman, 5 home runs.
I mean,
Bregman hit 5 home runs. Let's post that out there. He's got all these Bregman base cards that you can get, or Bregman autos.
I would be pissed off if we basically had a marketing campaign with Beckett and they were like, hey, get into a hockey break, and this player just passed away and he's in this product, and they attach like a Mojo break attachment to it. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, that's not what we do. I don't know if Burbank, I don't know if they have to approve everything that goes out. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. They probably just pay X amount of dollars for X amount of tweets with affiliate marketing probably attached to it. I don't know. I mean, because it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good from Beckett's standpoint. It doesn't look good from Burbank's.
Yeah. So we'll leave that at that. And then while I was going through to try to capture this video, I saw this little nugget, and I thought, hey, what the heck? So there's a go listen to this show. There's free press here. So live Sports Collectors Podcast Roundtable live from the National 8/3/18 from the NSCC main stage, which I think we'll be right by. Is there's some podcasters, and there's Let Me Get That Potograph. There's Steel City Scoop, Go GTS, that Sports Card Show podcast, and the Fat Pack. So, all decent shows. We didn't get invited. I want to know if the legendary show of this hobby, the podcast show that started all the podcasts, was Sports Card Radio. They should, if it's a roundtable and it says it's your favorite shows, which was what it said in the tweet, pretty sure Sports Card Radio should be on there. Ryan and Colin may not want to go on there, but I got to see if they got invited. You know what I'm saying?
I still think on iTunes, the Sports Card Show, Colin's podcast, is still the #1 downloaded sports card podcast.
It is. And he was doing it. I was listening to it in like 2009. Our first show was
2009, 2010, and I mean those guys are the OGs for sure. So why aren't they up there?
Right.
I mean, and we've been doing podcasts since 2011.
I don't think any of those guys have.
I'm not salty. I'm not salty about this because I'm gonna have so much stuff I got to do that I really don't want to be there talking about anything. And let's face it, dude, we're wild cards. We don't get sponsorship. We're not like trying to sell ad space. We don't really kiss up to certain manufacturers. We kind of tell it how it is. It wouldn't go over well because let's face it, there's gonna be a lot of puff pieces up there. So
you're saying we're too opinionated, Dan?
We're too opinionated.
God damn it, man.
We're too opinionated, and then you put like Ryan or Colin on there that just take over the show, man.
Well, then you got 7-8 people trying to talk at the same time. That might be just madness.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do our own shows every day, and yeah. It'll be maybe a little R-rated, maybe a little late night edition.
Now, hey, correct me if I'm wrong. If I missed the invite, I'm sorry, but I was told that by Eric that, hey, I love your show, but hey, I didn't get an invite, so I must not like it that much.
Well, they invited me, but they didn't invite. No,
and C-Rad's all, they invited me too. God damn it. They're like that Doug guy, man.
That Doug guy talks too much.
Yeah, he just he says finger effing and stuff. We can't have that on our show.
But I think it has to do with the fact that we don't really sugarcoat it. Sometimes we have unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
And stuff that you probably shouldn't talk about. We talk a lot about allocation. We talk a lot about distributors. One of them is actually run by a distributor. So I mean, let's face it, man. Nobody wants us. Nobody wants to hang out with us.
We're the misfits, right? No, but I love Rob and I love the Go GTS show. All those other. I just listened to that Sports Card Show podcast. I gave them huge credit on the JSA interview, but
I'm not hating on anybody who's up there. Everybody is, they all deserve that.
Yeah.
But I also look at it and I understand why we are not invited and why we will never be invited.
Right. And that was the whole point of bringing this up, is that we try to have a show where we state our honest opinion. And a lot of times we'll rip a product and we still got 20 cases left and we're talking crap about it and saying it's garbage, and then we still have to sell it. So and that's how we do it. We try to, I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan. I'm a big fan of podcasts like that you really feel like you're connecting, like it's the person's being real. You know what I mean? And that's what and I'm not saying these podcasts aren't real, but we rip products and we know the business side of it. So we try to tell it like it is and try to make it entertaining for you guys.
Yeah, I'll be the first one. It's not a smart business model to sit on X amount of cases of something and come on here and say it's terrible and just watching it devalue when we're actually selling the product.
Right.
Bad business model, bad plan, bad marketing. So we're probably not the smartest guys in the room, but we do like telling you how it is.
We like talking, and we have a lot of fun doing this. I mean, we don't have any sponsors. We're not making any money.
And once we
Just
start,
on our
once
breaks.
we start getting sponsors on this show that are related to the industry, I'm done.
Right.
I'm not doing it, because then I can't have an honest opinion. I gotta basically I gotta puff some stuff up, man.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I don't want to do that. So
Let's get on to Leveon Bell, because we are running short of time, and we do have a sold-out Ginter break in about 9 minutes. I was just, with the contract negotiations of Leveon Bell, how he's probably only going to be in Pittsburgh for one more year. He's holding out. He doesn't go to training camp half the time. I was really amazed at his prices. So you're talking about probably the best run, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I got some stats to prove it. The best running back, possibly of all time, in a short span of 5 years. I know he hasn't played long enough to be considered into that conversation. But contenders, $50. I mean, I know that's a horrible looking auto, but $50 are best offer. $300 on a number to 25 NT RPA from 2013. So Leveon Bell is in 2013 products, and he's probably one of the only bright stars that is in 2013 products, with DeAndre Hopkins at this point and some other dudes. I'm looking at the picture on the wall. It's pretty bad. But it just amazes me that his prices are so low. So I've been trying to figure it out. Like, big market team, right? Big market team puts up the stats. What more do you need from him? You look at a guy, you go to the next slide, and so if you look, and this is why I think he could be considered.
I have no idea what that slide is.
You're not going to be able to read this, so I'll do my best to interpret it for you. So yards after the scrimmage, most yards per game. So we take Leveon Bell's rushing yards and his receiving yards, because he is a two-way player. Pretty much the best two-way player that we've seen is transcending the game. He averages 128.5 yards from scrimmage a game. Nobody else has that beat. Jim Brown is 125. Billy Sims is 119. Barry Sanders is 118.
This is an average for a
Peterson is 112. No, this is after 40 games.
Oh.
So you take, at least have played 40 games.
They're like those players' best 40 games?
No, that's their careers. Their yards from scrimmage average per game. So you take their...
So that's for a whole career?
Yes. So Leveon Bell has the best yards from total yards from scrimmage out of any running back in the history of the game right now. Now, I know he's only 4 or 5 years in, and he didn't play some games and stuff like that, but that's pretty remarkable. But what I see is you go to a guy like Saquon Barkley, who's selling like crazy right now. He's on the Giants. He's on a big market team. I look at the best he could be is Leveon Bell. So why my question to you guys is, why invest in any running back? If you have a guy that's the best and he sells for nothing, then why are we investing in running backs, and how can we fix the problem?
Let's try to figure out why he doesn't sell for as much as you think he should. Why is it? You're giving me all these facts. Like, why? What are your opinions? Why doesn't he sell? I have one. I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the uncertainty of what team he's going to be on has something to do with it.
But it's always been that way, even when he was...
I know, but he is basically... He's been holding out for the last 3 years?
Yeah.
And he obviously is not happy. Cards tend to dip when a player leaves. It happens more so in football than it does any other sport. Baseball depends on what team they go to. Football, if they go to another team, their cards tend to dip. So I think that is an uncertainty. Like, if he signed a 5-6 year deal with the Steelers and he was going to be there for the rest of his career, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's won how many? One Super Bowl?
That's what I was thinking. Did they win in 2014? I know they Steelers Super Bowl. Sorry, I try to block them out because they've won more than my team, so I try to block those memories out. No, 2009 was their last
2009.
So he hasn't won a championship yet.
Okay,
but neither is Barry Sanders, who's always in the conversation of greatest of all time, right?
Yeah, I think the uncertainty of what team he's going to be on has something to do with his market value in cards.
Edwin says he's not being hyped, but what does that say for Saquon Barkley or even Kareem Hunt? Kareem Hunt's not on a big market team.
He did get in trouble. He missed like 3 games.
I think he had a marijuana suspension. I don't know what else he may have had something else. I think it was substance abuse twice, but I think it was marijuana twice.
So that could have something to do with his hobby love, his hobby market price. People
say he's a douchebag. I mean, he's not likable. Could that be it? I mean, he's not likable. But Adrian Peterson didn't really dip.
He doesn't do a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. He's not. I mean, I'm trying to think of another running back. Adrian Peterson also had some issues off the field.
Yeah.
That didn't stop. Actually, remember that year when that happened? His cards really did dip.
Yeah.
They dipped, and they came right back up.
Which is crazy because smoking weed that's legal in a lot of states, or beating a kid who's 5 years old with a stick. I don't know. It's just crazy to me that that this guy has done so well in his career so far, and he should be like he shouldn't sell more than a quarterback. I get that, but he should sell more than like the 10th best quarterback in the league. He should, it's just that's what this hobby is founded on, is hype. So it's almost better. So I look at this with Saquon Barkley. It's almost better to have a running back never play, because once he plays, he could beat Leveon Bell, and he's not going to sell for more than Leveon Bell.
What if he runs for over 2,000 yards? What if he breaks Adrian Peterson's record? And Barkley is he's personable. He likes doing interviews. He likes joking around. I don't see that from Bell. Bell kind of every time you hear about Bell in the media, it's because he's unhappy with his contract.
But rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Didn't they offer him 5 years at $70 million?
He should get a max contract based on these stats.
They don't have a max contract in football.
Well, whatever he wants, give it to him.
Whatever he wants.
Look at the numbers.
But that is a terrible investment if you're a Steelers. If you're the Steelers organization. How many years does Le'Veon Bell have left?
Yeah, it's not AP's record, 9 yards, right? He was 9 yards short.
Oh.
It's not Chris Johnson's either, is it? Was it Chris Johnson? No, it was
it's
Dickerson, right? No, Dickerson got beat too. Why am I freaking blanking out on who has the record? Or is it Dickerson?
It is Dickerson.
It's Dickerson.
Single season is
Yeah, because I
Dickerson.
think he beat OJ, right? OJ had the record.
Yeah.
But anyways,
he should have had that 9 yards.
yeah, he should have. He should have. But what I'm saying is the guy arguably progresses, like I was telling you off the show, the guy arguably progresses the ball more than Ben Roethlisberger does. So he was trying to get first running back money and second wide receiver money combined. I know that sounds crazy, but if you look at the stats, that's what he's doing. He's putting up those stats. So now, he screwed himself with money, but he was trying to say, hey, I'm worth more than that. And you can't hate on a guy that's like if you're at your job and you're doing 3 people's jobs and they're only paying you for one person's job. He's doing 2 to 3 people's jobs.
He's doing 2.
Oh, he's doing 2, so paying for 2. He's paying for what?
But he is. But I mean, what other running back in the league is making $70 million? And plus, he's getting franchise tagged at what, $15 or $16 million a year?
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. A franchise tag is going to probably go by the wayside because it never works out for the team. It makes the player pissed.
No. It never works out for the player.
Well, yeah, but the player never stays beyond that franchise tag because they're like, you're kind of enslaving me on this team. I don't want to play for you, and you're like, because you don't want to pay me.
But it protects the team.
It does, and
from having to basically give this person a 5 or 6 year deal,
right?
And then they break down. Or they, especially with running backs, how many times have you seen a running back go over 1,000 yards, and then their next year, they basically average 2 yards a carry and they maybe get like 500 yards, and then they get released.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Dominic Davis was one of the
running
guys
backs
that
got worse and worse and worse as far as durability over the years.
I mean, Dominic Davis didn't even get hurt, did he? He just fell off.
Fell into oblivion.
How many guys? I mean, you could name every single year. There's a guy who runs for 1,000 yards and then basically falls off.
Yeah.
Zach Stacy was another one.
It was. Yeah.
It's crazy. So
I mean, Trey Mason had a good kind of season to start off with for you guys.
If I'm running a football team, I never invest heavily into a running back.
So I think that goes to say, I think the moral of what I'm really kind of trying to beat around the bushes is if you have Saquon Barkley cards, you're probably better off selling them now. I mean, the cards are crazy. I mean, unless, like Dan said, he breaks the record. Even if he wins a Super Bowl, I don't think that he's going to go. I mean, the cards, did I have the Saquons up there? Keep going. So look at this. Saquon, in perspective, out of a Father's Day pack, $150. And that's 3 times the amount of a contender's Le'Veon Bell. Then go to the next one. A number to 5 sticker auto out of Elite.
$900.
$900 for a number to 5 Elite Saquon Barkley. That's crazy. You could have 3 NTRPAs of Le'Veon Bell for that price. So it just goes to show that running backs are not long term. They're in the moment. Get rid of it when you get it. This guy's a low pick.
Look at what's Kareem Hunt last year. That market was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It was just through the roof first 3 weeks, and then it just tanked for 6 weeks after that. Then it started getting a little steam later on in the season. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the year, people were collecting Kamara.
Yep.
More so than Kareem Hunt.
And both those guys, I'm looking at. I'm glad you brought that up because I want to see what Kareem Hunt's cards sell for. So I'm pulling it up on the old, FeeBay here.
Yeah, David Johnson sells for nothing. David Johnson healthy is he is the closest thing to Le'Veon Bell.
XR swatch patch, prime patch auto, $32. Kareem Hunt. Contenders optic on card under $50. $20 on an XR auto, $30 on a Prism.
All right. So when a running back is hot, sell as fast as you can.
Yes.
Get rid of it.
Probably goes with receivers too.
Terrible.
Probably do a whole
terrible for a hold investment.
Yep.
Unless you're buying you're prospecting on somebody and you're buying them really low. Say you're buying them for $5 or something like that, and you're waiting for them to have a game, and you're going to sell them for 30, 40, 50. That's fine. But right now to buy Saquon Barkley autos on eBay on the secondary market and think that it's an investment, you're high.
Yeah.
I mean, you're high.
Crazy.
There's no way the person who bought that one that we're looking at there, that Elite for $900 is going to get a fraction of that back. That card may, at the end of the season, that card may be worth $75 to $100.
Yeah. But the market is it is a little higher this year than it has been. So I mean, right now is the time to sell some of these cards. But we got to get live for Ginter, guys, so definitely check us out, mojobreak.com. We're going to be live the rest of the day. A lot of our breaks are already sold out, but we do have some Spectra teams for basketball. Brand new Spectra, 8-box case, 6 hits a box, so 48 hits in the case, lots of color. You got the white sparkle per case. Those look like they're going to be pretty hot, and patch autos, stuff like that. We have Ginter coming up. We have Ultimate Collection Hockey coming up. And lots of pre-sale on the site, and we have that big national thing going on, so it's going to be really exciting. So stick around, stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter, mojobreak_com. Follow us, like us on Facebook, all that other stuff, and we'll be doing a bunch of promo stuff, and we'll have some free breaks. I'm even going to probably post a free break for online customers as well to sign up for that we'll do at the national. So stay tuned for that, and we are out.